Good morning, everybody. I am so excited for today's team hangout. It is such an honor to be having this very special guest on the call. I've known our guest for a couple of years, and I've really gotten to spend some time with her over the last couple of months, and she has made such an impact on me, on my life, and also helped me with this business. And she's taught me so many things that are such an important foundation to life and leadership that I hadn't heard before. And so I asked Jill if she'd jump on the call and share her nuggets with you guys. So today's guest is Jill Bowman, and she is in Scottsdale, Arizona. You are not going to believe this. She is 60 years young. She's got more energy than me, and she keeps up with those 20-year-olds. She actually probably is faster than most of them. But what I love about Jill, she has got all the stars, all the credentials. She has earned so many awards in isogenics. What I love about her is her heart for people, her heart to serve. All right. And she has the most incredible story about how she found isogenics, which she's going to share. And then how she's gone on to build this business, not just successfully, but with so much grace. And she is a seven-figure income earner. She has got so many millionaires within her team. But what I really love is the leaders that she's building. All right. She has 17 personally enrolled leaders, executives. So what that means is she has built 17 people herself, well, with them obviously, but they're the people that she has met and moved to executive. Who would like to hear some of those, how she's done that? Would you guys like to hear how she builds leaders? Absolutely. Jill has a heart for people. She loves isogenics. Her and her husband Andy own a gym in Scottsdale, and I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand it over to Jill. She has got a list of things that we prayed earlier, and she's got a list of things that she's going to go through with you guys, and just take heaps of photos, post on social media. Make sure you tag her on Insta story, and just in the chat, any questions. My suggestion is to put your phone away and don't be scrolling or anything. Just listen and take it in, and we'll get the replay as well. And welcome to everybody who's joining us. You can share the link, and let's fill this call. All right, Jill, are you there? Can you unmute? Awesome. She's unmuting.
How's that?
You are on. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us and jumping on the call. And I've been telling you about these leaders for a long time, Jill, so I'm so excited you get to meet them.
Awesome. You guys, it is nothing but pure joy to be on this call. Rachel has the feedback, okay?
It is absolutely perfect. It's fine as long as I don't talk, so that's great because you are talking. Can you start off sharing your story, how you found isogenics, and then I know there's going to be so much gold for these guys.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of go, get your paper and pen ready, guys, because I'm going to go kind of rapid through. I know there's so much that Rachel and I went through over the last couple of weeks being together, and I've condensed it to just a list. And I'm going to go through my list of really like power hour for you guys. So you have my list of things that have really helped me to rocket to the top, right? And how I just do things a little bit differently, probably the same, but a different conversation and a different mindset. And so about 8 years ago, my husband was very critically sick. He was accidentally overdosed in an IV at a homeopathic doctor's office with a new nurse that day with hydrogen peroxide. The hydrogen peroxide burned through his entire body. 2 women were also overdosed the same day. They died within an hour. My husband went into critical condition for 14 days while the peroxide burned through every organ in his body. At the end of 14 days, all they could do was to really support each organ as it failed. By the grace of God, he survived, and I wheeled him out of the hospital. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. He had lost 30 pounds in 14 days. All his muscles had atrophied. It was just the most gruesome sight you could imagine. All the hair on his body just melted off like angel hair. Every hair on his body. It was the craziest thing to watch. So and then we decided to go up to our home on a lake up in Idaho, where we decided to kind of embrace every last day together and just kind of wait. So that was in the summer of July of 2011. And so we arrived and we were actually just sitting there waiting, and it got incredibly depressing for me. So about on day 4, I went up, I think it was day 4, maybe within those first couple of days, I was kind of losing it. And I decided I needed to go out and find some place to sweat, work out, just have that, give my mind some sort of, try to find some peace in all of this. And I walked up to the corner. There was a yoga studio. And I walked in, and I actually wheeled Andy in because he wanted to watch. He was just wanted to be with me every moment. And while I was doing the class, he actually picked up a flyer on the table that talks about nutritionally cleansing the body. And while I was doing the class, he was actually reading about our cleanse. And he's an incredible researcher. My husband loves to research products. He knows everything about formulations there is. So he came home and he said, I think I want to try this. I'm like, what is that? He said, it's a cleanse. I go, well, we're not doing another cleanse. I've done enough with you. We're not going to, you're dying. We're not going to sit all summer and poop. It's just not going to happen. And he said, I think this is different. I said, well, research it. Let me know. So after 4 days, he said, this is not a poopy cleanse. This is a nutritional cleanse that actually feeds your body nutrition. So I was very intrigued. I said, all right, well, if you're going to do it, I'll do it. So I jumped in with him on a couple of days in. I said, go back and get everything they have. I feel so different. And I actually, at that point, I saw little hair starting to come back on his head, like very, very quickly. Fuzz was coming back. He was actually starting to walk. His speech was getting clear each and every day. Just to make this really fast for you guys without going into the gory details. At the end of the 2 months, he was thriving. He was walking. He was talking. He actually was going to the little studio with me, and he was boxing on a bag. And he still had trouble with walking a bit. He had to learn to walk again, but he had a full, incredible recovery. So again, you guys have all heard this. Once you allow, incredible nutrition into your body will perform like the miracle it was intended to be. And that's exactly what happened. He began to thrive again. Fast forward 8 years, he's still doing unbelievable. He's 77 and he's just got a head full of blonde hair. He has, Rachel was just with him. He's got energy of, a 50, 40-year-old man, goes all day. He still trains and teaches in our gym. We do sort of a heated room, muscle confusion, not a CrossFit at all, but high intensity interval training with weights. So it's pretty extreme. And he has had a miraculous recovery. And out of that came just an incredible passion to share these products with the world. And we just literally came home and started telling one person after another. And it turned organically into this incredible blessing that we have with amazing nutrition and also an incredible the financial freedom side. So it's been nothing but a miracle on every level. And I am surrounded by miracles each and every day now, and that's how I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So Rachel, is that any questions about those dark days of my life that turned into an incredible bright light in my life, for sure?
It's amazing because Jill, just to know the impact that these products have had on Andy, and if that hadn't have happened, you would never have found this. So I'm so grateful for you and for Andy. Jill, can you share some of your tips to leadership and how you've gone on to find these products eight years ago for just by accident to now have an absolute empire of people who have just had their lives impacted by your leadership?
Yeah, well, I've never been involved in network marketing before. In fact, it was several months before I even knew that's what I had jumped into. I was like, what is this? And so it took me quite a while to get educated on what they were saying back 8 years ago MLM stood for, what direct sales marketing really meant. So I did a lot of research on understanding. I've never heard of this industry before, which is astounding to me. At 52, I found network marketing. I did not have a clue that this was out there. So it was fascinating to me that there was this opportunity. I'm like, what? How come I didn't know about this? So I became a very loud voice, loud and proud for the industry, because I was quite disturbed that people just don't know this is out there. the opportunity is out there for them. You know, I was talking to there's a professional football player on my street, and I was talking to him today. He's like, I'm not getting involved in that. That's one of those things. He said the word pyramid. I'm like, people just don't know what they don't know. So, you know, it's really is truly my mission to free people of that mindset. So, you know, I made this I've just made this business so easy because I really had no background, no education. And for me to be able to do this, I really led with my passion in my heart and loving and a servanthood platform to serve. So I'm going to go through the list of things really quickly because this actually took me a week to share with Rachel, you know, and really in depth, but I'm going to give you guys a list. And then Rachel, I think at another time you can go into the depth of some of these things, right? Because she knows very clearly how I've had this great abundance in my life and how more just continues to come. In fact, Melanie's on the call. Melanie was just announced our leader of the year after a year and a half of being involved in the company. And I just simply accepted her, met her where she was at, and loved her all the way through the journey and just allowed her to be who she is and show up every day just doing what Melanie loves to do. So again, inviting the easy in on this journey. And sometimes I think we make this so complicated. We overcomplicate, we have expectation. And I got rid of all of that. And so the first thing I want to start with is, obviously we all know this word and we hear it so much, but I don't think we really understand. And this is where Melanie and I have worked really hard, is staying coachable. She has a mind of her own, a beautiful mind of her own. She's a very strong woman. She came from a very successful career, but she had all of her own ideas. But she stayed coachable, you guys. She stayed coachable. I kind of stood back and I stayed the wind beneath her wings as she was allowed to just, you know, blossom into her idea of what she wanted this journey to look like and to be and to feel for her and her team. But again, she stayed coachable. And every day we have many conversations on just how, you know, this business is so fascinating. Just long and depth conversations about, you know, the beautifulness of direct sales marketing, the beauty of these products, the beauty of our company. And I think keeping that communication open and not start, and Rachel and I just had this conversation yesterday about not like being the boss so much as it is just stepping back and allowing people to grow on this journey. As they get stuck and they struggle, that's when we make suggestions, right? And we talked about that yesterday, Rachel and I, about instead of saying, you know, here's what we do. I'm like, no, may I give you a couple suggestions? Are you open to being coachable on this topic, right? So I really do a lot more suggesting if people are open. And I don't say, are you coachable? I say, are you open to listening to what I have to say about that? I have a couple suggestions. So staying coachable and also leading from a place of kindness and leading from a place of, you know, I'm just going to suggest a couple things and then you kind of get to do what you want to do. So giving them that option, right? That they're in charge of their business. I'm not their boss. You're your boss. You are the CEO of your own organization. I'm just here to love on you and give you suggestions, right? And so that kind of frees me up from feeling like I have all this pressure of leading this team and I'm the boss and I'm pulling and dragging all day. No, I'm not. I'm just here to love you. That's all I'm called to do is to love on you. So number 2, moving on. I'm always coaching to be more, and this is the problem we all have, and especially in the beginning, be more interested than interesting. Be more interested in people than interesting. And we tend to get out there and we verbal vomit. We're so excited. I know I did that a lot in the beginning. And now I make it just so easy. And I listen. Be more interested than interesting, right? And there's a whole technique and a system I have about that. And Rachel, we can talk about that. And you can do that in another training, what that looks like when you are out and about connecting, you know, always asking the questions and then listening, being quiet. So number 2 is be more interested than interesting. Number 3, I am always talking about the value piece, okay? People don't really understand when we say, go out there and add value, okay? It is so critical that you guys get this piece. I talk about the 120 rule. So every day I am going out into the world, out into the mall, wherever I am in my travels, and I'm adding 100% value to Rachel's life. We are not financially linked. But anything, and this is it truly is, Rachel, the most selfish thing, I talk about this all day long, the most selfish thing I can do is to add as much value to her life as I can. And here's why. Because whatever I give to her is going to flow right back to me. So I'm trying as much as I can to give to her, add value. She's giving me 20% back, and that's okay. That's fine. It's called my 120 rule. My goal is to give you $100 and you give me 20 back. And that's my goal with every single person every day. How can I give her $100 of value every time I'm with her, everywhere I go, everyone I'm with? Okay. It's my 100, write that down, the 120 rule. Add more value than you are receiving. And it will be a flow that comes back to you. You've created a void. When all that time I spent with Rachel, I created this big void that has to flow back into my life now. Does that make sense to you guys? Rachel, do we have a chat that I can see? Yeah. Okay. Love the 120 rule every day. So think of it like you have a bag of money in your room every morning. Your job is to go out and hand out $100 bills all day long. The more value you can add, you guys, the more is going to flow back to you. It's a flow. And I'll get more into that in a few minutes. But it is the critical part of my success, no doubt about it. No doubt about it is the value piece. And it doesn't have to be anything big, hard, a system, a technique. It is simply smiling, opening a door, complimenting, all these little things, being kind, picking up trash, pushing the grocery cart back, being kind to your future self, I call it. It is actually creating this void that needs to flow back into your life. So you better believe all day long I'm trying to figure out ways, like being on this call, to give and serve and teach you what I know, because I've now created a void that has to be filled back into my life. I hope that makes sense, because it is such a big part. Rachel, you so got that. She oh my gosh, this isn't about how much I can get, it is how much I can give out. Every day being mindful of that flow and watch the doors open. Be so mindful, you guys, when you are out and about. Doors are going to open all day long, all day long, all day. I call them prompting. Hey, be intentional, be mindful of when they open. Somebody will say, how are you? Or, wherever you are in any conversation you're having. I call that is an opportunity to move through the doorway. Okay. The more you do that, and the more you're mindful and you're aware, the more opportunities and doors are going to open all day long. Add value in that moment. It can just be your skin is so pretty. And it's just, Rachel, you're so good at that. How can I help you? She says, how many times you guys all heard that? I know you have. Is there anything I can do for you? And I always ask that question constantly. How can I help you? How can I serve you? Is there anything I can do for you? Adding the value piece. So super important, you guys. That's what I do all day long. I receive, I add value, I'm grateful, and then I give it away. I receive anything that happens to me. I'm receiving it. And then we're going to go into the next topic, which is when things happen in life. And there's been a lot of hard on my journey. So hard, you guys. A lot of deaths. Actually, my best friend was murdered. So there was some tough stuff I've been through. And I had to learn this principle and this technique. No matter what's happened, the money, 7 figures, the recognition, the deaths, all the hard. I got to this place where I understood nothing happens to me. It's not happening to me. It's happening through me for the benefit of others and things to come. So if I allowed all this stuff that happened to me, including the money, the fun, the recognition, my ego's growing now, right? This is what happens. I stop all these blessings that are trying to come. It gets too heavy. It gets too much. I can't carry this much money. I can't carry this much burden. So my system that works for me is I allow when the storm comes, when the money comes on stage, when I receive my money every month, every week, a lot of it, I say, it's happening not for me, not to me, but through me. I find the value in it, great value in everything that happens to you, the good and the bad. Find gratitude and then figure out how to give it back away, which is what I'm doing right now. So when all the heavy, hard stuff happened, I went to that. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim, and I'm not an opportunist. It's not happening to me as a victim. It's not happening for me. That's an opportunity. It's happening through me for the benefit of others and things to come. And I find the value and I add the gratitude piece. My team knows this so well. They have got this. And I was with Rachel when something happened to me when we got off the plane in Nashville. And I almost went to my knees, hysterical. And she immediately turned to me and she said, Jill, this is not happening to you. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So she actually really got it, and she turned. I had forgotten it. It went away so fast, and it was a family thing that was going on. So Rachel, thank you for that. But you guys, when you understand that nothing in this world is to me or for me, but through me, I have the find the value in the gratitude and then give it away. Mel, you get that so beautifully. It is unbelievable. And you have to be very conscious of it in the beginning. Write that down, you guys. When things happen, they don't happen to you or for you, but through you for the benefit of others and things to come. And then it's a flow. It's just a flow all day long, all day long. So I don't carry the heaviness. I don't carry the ego. I don't carry, any of that stuff. That's why you don't rarely see me on stage and doing all that stuff, because it's just too much for me. I would rather stay sort of down here and allow my team to rise up. And if that's their gift, and it certainly is, several people on my team, Tanya Kirkpatrick, Trudy Maples, Rachel Thomas, Tracy O'Malley, I could go on and on, Brent Shaw, and the millionaires all the way down the line. That's their gift, and that's what they love to do. But the only way that has been possible is for me to the humility and get rid of my ego and let them rise. And I stand back today and I bask in their light, and it's a beautiful place to be. So, all right, you guys get that. If you have any questions in the chat, please, Rachel, write down the notes. But I hope you get that, because it's, again, the pieces that I'm giving, the nuggets that I'm sharing with you are everything to do with all the happiness that I have in my life today. Okay, this is the next one, moving on. I stay in consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential every day. Okay, this is where my happiness comes from. I'm not chasing happiness. Happiness isn't down the road. It's not when I make $1 million. It's not, when I reach these goals. It is right here on this call. This is in pursuit, consistent, persistent, daily pursuit of my potential every single day. Okay, and that's what keeps me happy. That is, write that down. It's daily, consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. This is where you will find your success. This is where you will find your happiness, where you are in the do, in the do, and being persistent and consistent. So many of us take our foot off the pedal. Rachel and I have not. We love what we do, and that's what keeps us so inspired. But it's this consistent, persistent piece. And then I love that in pursuit of your potential, will bring about more abundance in your life. But it has to be daily, consistent, persistent. Okay, moving on. Ask. A couple things here. Ask for help. So many mistakes that I've made, you guys, because I have not asked. I did not ask, and I paid the dummy tax. So ask for somebody who's quite successful, if you will, and has gone before you and has paved the road for you. Just ask people who are very successful on this journey or where you want to be. Ask the questions you need to ask. Find yourself 3 mentors. I have mentors at all times in my life. I mean, there's people that coach me every day. So mentors are so important, and I ask. I don't make too many mistakes anymore because I don't like paying the dummy tax. Okay, you guys should really like that. So be more courageous and ask. And the reason why we're not asking is because of our ego, right? We're afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. All I can say to you is, I can't help you right now. Go back to Rachel. I'm not going to say that to you. But find yourself a couple really good mentors on this journey, people that are successful in whatever areas you're trying to achieve in, and stay tight with them. Don't bug the crap out of them every day, but have that once a week meeting where you're 10 minutes on, you're 10 minutes off, get your questions, and don't make the mistakes I've made, okay? Not fun to pay the dummy tax. Does that make sense? Rachel, nod so I know. Does that make sense? Okay. Don't pay the dummy tax. Find yourself a couple mentors and ask. Just pick up that call. Reach out and ask Rachel. She'll be more than happy to make suggestions. Be kind to your future self, guys. This is the next one. Be kind to your future self. And what do I mean by that? If I want more in my life, more abundance, more team, greater finances, whatever it is, I need to be kind to my future self by going out, serving up and serving out, and doing good deeds. It's that simple. Again, creating a void that needs to be filled back into my life by being good to myself. That's what I mean, Rachel, when I was saying just be good, kind to your future self. What are you doing to serve? Rachel's leaving tomorrow to go to Fiji to serve. Oh my gosh, is she setting the stage for great blessings to flow back into her life? She's going to serve. You want more? Get out and serve and volunteer and do. And it can, you guys, if you can't go to Fiji and go on a mission trip, just go out there, and compliment people and open doors and pick up trash. I promise you, the world, the universe, whatever, does not know the difference between Rachel going to Fiji to serve children versus you going and complimenting people at the mall. The world does not know the difference. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If I give people money for a charity and she's in Fiji doing much greater work, the world does not know the difference. It's the same thing, but just do good deeds. That's all that there is. And if you're not, you're still into self. And self is not going to get you very far on this journey. Next one. Okay, I already talked about that. Understanding that part, you guys, that you are not a victim and you are not an opportunist, and then all we are in this journey is receivers and givers. All I am. I'm not a victim and I'm not an opportunist. I'm a receiver. And I know when I was with Rachel, when I said that, I heard her breath. I mean, she went, like she cut her breath. And we're just receivers and givers. So anytime anything happens, I'm just like, oh, it's just happening. I'm just receiving it. And then I'm being a giver with adding value and adding gratitude, and then receiving and giving it back out. The next one, the fastest way, and this is Rachel's favorite because it is so, everything my mission is about gratitude. Everything I'm about, because I can teach a 10-year-old and I can teach a 100-year-old, obviously, to say thank you. And it is the fastest way to change your life is to say thank you. It is just brings perspective. And here's the other piece, Rachel. I was thinking about this today. Every time I say thank you, it's planting a seed. It's planting a seed in someone and giving them hope. And then my job is to allow the time for that seed to blossom, right? So yes, being grateful brings perspective and it becomes a habit. And do this, you guys, until it's your DNA. It is just, it's in your subconscious. You wake up every morning, you're so grateful. You go to sleep every night. Rachel and I have been sending gratitude text messages and Facebook posts every single day because she wants it to get this in her subconscious. The only way it becomes your habit is to just literally, and I promise you, if you start saying thank you on day 3, you're all going to forget. I say on day 2, 90% of you will forget, and on day 3, all of you will forget. It's okay. Start again. Start again. It is the fastest way to change your life is to stand in gratitude. And it literally is every time I say thank you to someone, I look at it like I am planting a seed. And here's the key. I expect that seed to grow into, when I plant a corn seed, I have that expectation that corn is going to come up. Same thing with a watermelon. If I plant a watermelon seed, why aren't we doing that with our conversation? If I say thank you and I add value to Rachel, my expectation is I'm going to blossom this beautiful, amazing, right, flourishing plant. She's going to blossom. So shifting your mindset that every seed you plant, every kind deed, everything you do good, you're creating, and expect good things to come back to you. There's no difference between planting a seed in the ground of corn. You know you planted it. You know corn's going to grow up. It's the same thing when I give to Rachel. I know without a doubt, and you have to be thinking of this and mindful, because our imaginations, you guys, are powerful. They're powerful. So when I give love and I plant seeds and I say thank you, I'm expecting miracles. I'm expecting that seed to plant in its own timing, in its own beautiful way. It might take 2.5 years, like what I say, an elephant is 2.5 years. A human is 9 months. Don't put a time frame on it. Just keep putting the seeds out there with thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and it will bring you great perspective. That is probably the biggest, greatest thing I could really share with you today that has powerfully impacted my life. And I really do think that her greatest takeaway, I don't know what it was, but I would say it was probably the thank you challenge, the gratitude challenge. Understanding, guys. Let me think. Let me go on to the next one. Okay, we talked about this yesterday, Rachel and I run into a lot of people that are, not a lot anymore, but there's people that are negative, will come up into your face and start screaming at me at events about different things that I'm doing in regards to packs I'm sharing. I'm like, I don't get combative anymore. Well, all I do is I listen. If you're running into toxicity in your life and negativity, all you are required to do is listen And I say, thank you for sharing that with me. And then this is key, as they're walking away, pray for their happiness. Pray for their happiness. And it's not so much about what's going to happen to that person, it's what's going to happen to you. Okay, you get into a negative place about somebody approaching you or attacking you, it literally stops your flow of all the good that's trying to come into your life. So I listen. All the people are trying to talk to me about why I'm not sharing the value pack all day long, every single day. And I simply said, thank you. I understand. And as they walked away, I said, pray for their happiness. And it was overdone, and it was that easy. They didn't stop my flow. I don't get entangled in those conversations with toxicity. Toxicity you'll run into a lot on this journey, but just try to understand. Try to understand as opposed to get combative in that. And that'll really help you in regards to not leaving these conversations in anything but, because what you want to do is you want to stay in your peace and you want to stay in your center all day long. And there's people that will try to, that approach you and try to rob you of that throughout your day. But your goal is when that happens to get right back to your peace and your center, because you can't afford to, as leaders and business builders, to be taken out of your peace on this journey for a minute. And when you do, just go right back. And every morning I wake up my day and I do my prayers and I get right to my I literally have one choice every day. Not that I have to do this, but I get to do this in gratitude. And I literally choose to be happy. We have a serious happiness problem in this country, especially. Number one cause of death in America under 50 is suicide. Okay. So, besides the opioid problem and all the other, things going on to create depression and sadness in this country and in the world, we also have a choice. And I wake up and I get to my center, I do my prayers, and the other thing I do is I ask every morning to show me 10 people who I can bless today. And it literally can be 10 that I just went out and complimented. Okay. Again, pretty selfish of me, because I created a void now that has to flow back to me. And I just love that thought in my head every day waking up. I am happy every day, but I'm not happy. I'm happy. What did I say today? I wrote this down. I'm happy every day. I'm just not happy all day, every day. I'm going to be realistic about it, but I choose to be happy. But it's a choice. It's a choice I make every day. Let's see here. Okay, this is a cool thing. You guys will love this. I go through my tree a lot, and the analogy that I use is when people are golfing or playing cards, a card game. Typically, if you're in a foursome, somebody's up to putt. The other three are standing there watching, and they're going, I hope he misses. I hope he misses. I hope he misses. And my mentality is to stand there and say, this is cool. Make it. I hope he makes it. I hope he makes it. And the same thing with, the number one card poker player in the world. He's not quite there yet, but he'll get there. Is when he's playing poker, he's like, don't get the right card. Miss it. So my thing I do every day is I go through my tree and I go through Rachel's business, and I'm like, and I say the word, make it. And it's not so much what's going to happen to her business center or anybody in my organization, which I hope I'm sending some kind of beautiful prayer over that business center, is what's going to happen to me. Because there's so many of us that go through our tree and we're angry and we're upset and the person's doing enough. And all I do is I literally will say the word, make it. And it's been so powerful to see, what's happening throughout the tree. And then of course my own business, because again, it's my attitude of gratitude. So I love the make it rule. I do it a lot. I try to, at least once a week, whenever I'm combing through the tree, I will literally say in my head over that business center, make it. And it's, again, not so much what's going to happen to her business, but it's what happens to mine, right? When it's my turn to putt and I'm saying, make it. I'm going to make it. There's a greater chance of me making it if I'm thinking that over other people. Does that make sense? You guys love that? I know, that's good. I love that one. The next one is never be the smartest one in the room. If you're the smartest one in the room, there's something off there. That's ego. And I say that a lot to myself. Sometimes these events get a little bit monotonous, and I'm like, stop it right now. You've got a lot to learn here. So find value in all these events. Find value in all the calls, even though you come to them over and over and over and over. It's good to hear them. There's somebody on the call here. She just shows up because she's heard this a million times, but it's becoming. Last night we were out to dinner, and the things that were coming out of her mouth, I'm like, it's in her DNA now. It is now in her subconscious because she's heard it so many times. And I I try to find value, and do not ever think you're the smartest one in the room, that you know everything, because there's so much to learn on this journey. I like to say, take your light. You're a bright, amazing light. And don't stand there and say, look at my light, look at my light, look at me. Take your light, because my light is going to burn out. My candle will burn out extremely fast if I am holding my light, standing there, look at me, look at me. I say, turn your candle and light 1,000 other lights, who will then in turn light another 100 lights. So be the light in this world. And if you're ever standing there saying, look at me, know that your light will extinguish much faster than turning your candle and being a light for others. Give. I'm going through these next one. I'm going through these quite quickly because I want to give you the list, Rachel. Give to give. Give to give. Do not give to expect back. Just give to give, because there's so many that are not going to reciprocate, and that's okay. You have given. Now it has to come back into your life somehow, some way, at the perfect time, in the perfect way. If you are expecting something back, you're just trading. You're just trading. Don't do that. Okay. Just give to give. Okay. If you, let me see, what's this one now? I don't know. Now my list gets pretty messy. I'm like all over the place. Again, I go into more of the thank you piece, and I don't want to give you much more of that because Rachel has got that down. But it is so important to do that for 30 straight days. If you can do that every night and every morning for 30 straight days, it will become part of your subconscious, and you will find yourself being in gratitude for everything all day long. It's really important, you guys, that you have clarity on when you are planting these seeds. Don't kind of be in a, that you're watering. When you plant your seeds, when you're out there saying thank you, make sure you're watering the seeds that you are planting, okay? Every day, Rachel will say, wake up. She didn't just come into my life to see what she could take from me. She also planted a lot of seeds, and she's continuing to water my seed, and she's mindful of that. Let me think. So planting the seeds is so good. Let me wrap this up. Rachel, you're such an extraordinary person in my life, and I'm just so grateful for you, and that, that you understand too, this happiness thing that I'm talking about, and the decision, you guys, it's a decision every morning that I wake up. Am I going to choose happiness today? Because it's so important, we as leaders, and wanting to be on this journey and wanting more abundance and wanting to serve on the level that we do, that we stop putting faith in other people's opinion. Okay. Stop putting faith, because that'll be the fastest way I can tell you that you will go into a pretty sad place. You will go into confusion, and you will stop your flow, as to putting faith in what even people who love you think about what you should do. They don't know what's best for you. People who love me want comfort for me. They want me to be, safe. They don't want me to, do the things that I know I want to do for my life. I try not to listen to people too much who love me, my family, in the beginning, because they knew nothing. They didn't know what they didn't know. So I don't put faith in what other people say and what people think and what I should do on this journey. I put faith in the seeds that I'm planting. Put faith in the seeds that you're planting, right? That is where the power is, not putting faith in what other people think you should be doing. Okay, so let me think. What else did I write down to share with you? And then Rachel, okay, last thing I'm going to leave you with. This is kind of cool. And then Rachel, I want you to ask a few questions, and then we can wrap it up. I stay inspired every day, every single day. I have to. And when I stay inspired, people are like, Jill, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? I'm like, no, aren't you? You're not. When you are not inspired, you're tired. When you are inspired, which I've been for 8 years, you do not get tired. You need to find things that keep you inspired. I don't know what it is for you. For me, it's going to church, and it's being around beautiful, amazing, happy people, and going to my gym and working out every day and being around those type of athletes. I have to force myself to be around inspired people. It's so important on this journey, as all of you obviously want to head in this amazing direction that I'm in, that you stay around inspiration. Okay, here's my last piece is, There is no secret to my success. There's no secret formulation. If I was to take the top 10 executives in the world, every one of them will tell you that they got to where they are today, all 10 different ways. There was no clear path. I will tell you that there is a supernatural path for each and one of you. If you were to hear the things I've done to get where I am, you would probably quit today. Okay, so my path is not necessarily the answer. I can just share with you some of the things that I have done. But what I love about this is there's two things you need to focus on, Rachel. Two, okay? Because remember, every one of us has this supernatural path, how you're going to get there. You need to focus on, and I don't really like this word, Rachel, this phrase, the law of attraction, because whatever does that mean? But here's what it means to me. And we say it a lot on this journey, the law of attraction. And it is truly what you're putting out there, the seeds that you're planting in faith that you focus on with action, okay? So that, in my opinion, is what that is. It is attracting things into your life with faith and action. So you need to focus on the law, and I call it the law of action because I don't really like it. I mean, you can't sit in a Range Rover and just think, I want a Range Rover, I want a Range Rover, and but you're gonna attract it into your life, right? But you can attract it into your life if you're in action and you have faith in what you're planting with gratitude and love. The second thing I want you to focus on, and write this down, the law of Goya, Goya. Aha! The law of Goya, you guys, is great. There's no secret. It's just get off your ass. Boom. So focus on the law of Goya every day. Get off your ass. The second thing is the law of action. Get out there and you will attract beautiful things into your life and more abundance and everything you can possibly want or dream, but you've got to get out there and get in action. Action for me every day is just going out and finding 10 people I can add value, I can compliment, and doing good deeds. And I make it that simple. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for this call. Rachel, you know how I feel about you. You are an extraordinary human being. You have the heart of, I don't know, Mother Teresa. I love everything about, how you are. She's just, you guys, the beautiful thing about Rachel is she's so humble. She's radically humble. And for her to have reached out to me, it took radical humility, putting her ego aside, and she asked. And it takes a lot to do that. Most of us do not ask because of our ego. And I wish if I implant anything in you today, it's really understanding the reasons why you're stuck. There's some part of your ego that is allowing you to stay stuck, right? And Isogenics is calling. So yes, any questions for me, you guys? Go ahead, Rach.
Yeah, Jill. So I'm going to get you at the end of the call to drop your bomb about Asia. But what I want to ask you first, okay? You taught me something really incredible about the giving love, and you called it love deposits. How many love deposits have you done today? And I want to really share that with everybody because it's amazing. Now, another thing I want to ask you is environment, toxic people. People often ask you how you are, and sometimes they're looking for the negative. And that's been one of the biggest things, is teaching me that response. I'm awesome. I'm incredible. How are you? I'm great. Can you just share a little bit about that, how people are wanting us to be sad and negative and wallow in the pity and hold us in that pit?
Well, again, it just staying in that, once you guys get through the gratitude challenge and it becomes in your subconscious, it's very hard to come out of that place of, like I say, I stayed in my center all day long. I'm aware. The greatest gift that I can share with you today, besides that list, is the gift of awareness, right? I'm aware when I'm being pulled out of that center. I'm aware of when I get into ego, and took a lot of work to understand when I'm in ego. But being aware when to turn left, when to turn right, how to let go. Awareness will keep you in this place of not allowing anything to really pull you too far out of your center. because this is where you need to stay. This is where you need to stay to be a bright light in the world and attract abundance and be adding massive love and value into people all day long. And so it is so important. That gift of awareness has been key for me, to be aware when I go literally to the store to buy bread, be intentional about why I'm there. I'm actually not going to really buy bread. There's probably somebody going to be in my path that I can compliment or bless, and being aware is the person standing in front of me or behind me. Okay. If I'm in a restaurant, knowing the server's name, telling them what an amazing job they did. Love to connect with you on social media. You were so amazing. Forgot to do it last night. Shame on me. Again, I wasn't that aware, but we had a big day yesterday at corporate with all the changes. But our imagination, you guys, is so important. And I'm just so aware and mindful of the seeds that I'm planting that it's very hard when you have committed to staying inspired to be anything but, joyful throughout your day, and not allowing anything to happen to me or for me. And I just, going back to that place, it's just happening through me, finding the value in everything that happened, and then finding and being grateful for it, even though it sucked and it was hard and you didn't understand why it was happening, because half the stuff that happened in my life, I don't understand why, but I'm finding the gratitude in it, because it's such a powerful thing to share with others when they're going through their dark time. It just happens. Life happens, right? So, and understanding that, we got a pretty hurting world out there, and they need love. Love is the answer. And certainly, we got a lot of that to give at Isogenics, and it's such a beautiful time to be part of this company. I really feel the last few years have been a time to allow for all the personal growth to go on. We were all growing so fast, and we were so caught up in a lot of the momentum that we kind of put the personal development on the back end. And these last couple of years has really allowed me to step back and really focus on that and start doing Zoom calls and training on this piece that I shared with you today. We're missing. Rachel and I fully agree that we're missing the gratitude piece. We're missing the flow piece. We're missing being the blessing piece. We're missing this conversation. I mean, how many of you guys have you heard leaders talk about, the not allowing
it's the strategy
through you, and just being mindful that the abundance and the scarcity mindset, right? Go ahead, Rach.
Jill, what I really share about your teaching and learning and your leadership is these strategies that you're teaching us can be applied to everyday life, to every single person, whether you're doing Isogenics or not. And it can improve your life in every angle, your family, your personal, your work, your health, your faith, everything. And then that's what helps you to be a better leader and have success in Isogenics, whatever that looks like. But as business strategies come and go, but these strategies that you're teaching are the foundation. And I love that. That's why I'm so passionate about it.
And I think that's why this is such an easy experience for me, being part of Isogenics, because I just live a beautiful existence every day. And then it allows for the abundance to happen. It allows for me to bless people. It allows for an easy conversation when I'm talking to people, because I am more interested than interesting. And I'm listening and loving pretty much everybody that I'm having an experience with. So people aren't really buying, and we always say they're not buying Isogenics. They're buying you. They're buying you. And we certainly know what happens when people start putting these products in their body. So I don't walk around leading and being mindful. I need to enroll 10 people a day. I need to connect. That is an organic, and that's just an organic daily skill I have, a gift. And that is what makes this so easy and fun for me. And one of the first things I said to the gal who shared these products, I said, do you guys have any fun in this business? Because you're not having fun. I don't think this is for me. So I really have to keep the fun factor. I'm a yellow, I think. I don't know. Yeah, between yellow and red. And so I love that, my team has a lot of fun. I've also really made sure that they know we have a lot of fun in Isogenics. And, once you learn, and it's almost like teaching everybody how to be better person when they show up in my world. Like, just be grateful, just be mindful, just be aware, just give more value than you're receiving. All these little things add up to a 7-figure income. No doubt about it. Mel, are you still on the call? She's still there? She probably had to jump off. She's heard me blab about this stuff.
I'm here. Sorry, I had to plug
You stayed on! There's our leader of the year, you guys.
I don't look like it. I know right now.
You're so cute. Mel, are these the key things that have been some of the key things in your business as well?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, I mean, most of us are aware at this point, this is definitely a mindset business, and you always say this is a personal development plan disguised with a compensation plan. And I think, yeah, the biggest thing is like you said, I think owning who you are and doing this your own way. And if you don't know what that means yet, that's okay. You have so many people to follow, but at the end of the day, following those that have done it first, like Jill, like she said, being coachable, being open. And I know she prefaced it, but myself even, like, I am very certain about many things in my viewpoint, but whether or not I agree with everything Jill suggests or tells me, I'm very mindful of it. Like she said, I take it into account. It goes into my brain. And then when situations arise, you know, you can apply it or go, oh, that's what she meant. And yeah, I think just don't get in your own way, like you said, and just be grateful and just be so appreciative for the fact that we can even do this. Like the fact that you can make, and I always say we get so comfortable with the numbers. We talk about hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. Like Rachel's made over $1 million in this business in such a short time. And we talk about that loosely. And I want you to remember, in a traditional job, people have to go to school for 8 to 12 years to become the upper echelon of society and earn $250,000 a year maximum, right? At the age of anywhere between 40 to 60. And when they pass away, they can't leave that to anyone. They didn't get to spend any time with their family. Like, we are so blessed to do this business. So every time you start to say this is hard, or I can't do this, or this is too much work, or I don't want to get a no, it's like, check yourself and remember what a blessing it is that we're able to work with these leaders and be a part of something that we can, I always say, it's like a joke, be your own sugar daddy. Like, I want to be the person who pulls up to a restaurant in my Range Rover, in my Mercedes Benz, and can take my friends out and can do any trips with anyone, anytime, anywhere. I don't want to rely on a man for that. And I don't want to have to ask for time off. And I don't want to have to beg for a raise when I'm giving a company my blood, sweat, and tears. So you just always have to check yourself and remember and listen to your leaders, whether or not you agree with them at the time or not. Listen, absorb it, and just take it into account, because that is your ego, and that's it. So I kind of went off, but but yes, I think you covered everything, Jill.
Mel, you're amazing. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you, leader of the year in your first year. That's so, so special. Jill, a couple of the girls have written some questions. They're just really super easy. And they want to know, when do you talk about Isagenix in the product when you meet someone?
I really don't, you guys. Isagenix is for me, it's about a relationship first and foremost, and building that beautiful, loving relationship, inviting people into my world, inviting them to my gym. I lead with, you know, if you ask the right questions, eventually people will start asking you, you know, you have a gym? And then, you know, I am always looking for the me too's, you know, where are you from? California. Me too. Everybody was once a stranger in your life. So you're looking to really build.
Bring it back in one, hold open the lift.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just saying bye to them and I wasn't on mute.
Okay. You really want to be looking for, to build that beautiful relationship first. I know Mel and I had a wonderful relationship, a relationship that turned into a wonderful relationship a long time before we ever discussed Isagenix. So I have that. When I do finally bring up Isagenix, it's a no. There's no question. There's no gray area. There's no, because they built a beautiful, trusting friendship with me. So that's my first. And I do try to expedite the beautiful friendship, invite them to my gym, you know, meet them for tea, and just learn about them. Be more interested than interesting, and eventually, It doesn't need, they're not buying Isogenics. They just want to be part of whatever it is I'm doing. Mel leads with the business every single day. She's passionate about getting people paid, it's in her soul to get people paid. I'm very equally as passionate about putting these products in people's body because I know the power of what happens when they do. So obviously they're asking me questions very quickly. What do you have in that sippy cup? Are you in that shaker bottle? The guys, are you a walking billboard? You know, Mel has a hat on that says Isogenics all day long. In my gym, you can't walk in and not see Isogenics products everywhere. It is very clear we're a walking billboard where people organically ask. And I literally get to the bottom line is, you know, like Rachel says, how can I help you? I would love to help you. And how can I be of service? And what are your goals? Like I ask people what their goals are all the time. Well, my sister's wedding this summer. So you have to be asking the right questions, being interested in their goals as opposed to just trying to get people. Nobody wants to be got. I like to go fishing. You know, we have great bait. I don't like to be a hunter, but I do as soon as the opportunity arises, and it's very organic. And again, I just love, you know, making more friends and looking for the me toos. And as soon as I can find a commonality, which we do in the David Wood trainings over and over, finding those 5 things you have in common, you know, you have a best friend for life that will follow you forever and do whatever it is you're doing. And I think that's what Mel and I, you know, why we've been so successful. We have so many things in common. But yet we're so different. And we found the commonality and it's working. And she was all in. So find the commonality, build the relationship, invite people into your world. And it can be just not even on social media. And then the follow-up, just stay connected. And the fortune, again, we talk about all the time is in the follow-up. And be really excited about, celebrate everything with that person. Every pound, every penny, you know, the day they get their product, celebrate it. Celebrate everything. Everything.
Jill, you celebrate everything. It's not all, you're not just celebrating success in the business, you're celebrating people all the time. And you see things in people that, you know, just really has opened my eyes to how we can celebrate people. It's amazing. Who's getting heaps of value from this? Yeah, so Jill, I want to
say too, Rach, on the liking versus loving, but go ahead.
there's another question in here about when people ask you what you do, what do you say? And this would be great for you to even share what Travis spoke to us the other day about what is Isogenics.
Oh, we're a nutritional company.
Yes.
We're a nutritional company. You know, I mean, I don't think he said anything more to that than that.
That is it. It's amazing. It's so simple. So simple. Jill, I just want to say thank you so much for jumping on the call, for sharing
and
with us. And now,
one last thing, Rachel, thank you. And is you guys, none of us show up in love with this journey. None of us, you know, we just don't. Like we like it. We like it. We like the products. We like getting our products paid for. But what I want to leave you with is when you fall in love with this industry, when you fall in love with the product, when you fall in love with other people's succeeding, when you fall in love and it becomes part of your soul and who you are, you're unstoppable. So I want to leave you with, fall in love with this business, fall in love with our company, fall in love with the process, fall in love with, you know, Isogenics, because you do show up and you like it. But have you really fallen in that love yet? And you jumped into it, but has Isogenics jumped into you yet? And it's so important that you all have that experience where, like, one day, all of a sudden, you don't even know how you got there, but you love this there, and your only job is to stay in business today. The biggest companies in the world focused on today. Stay in business today, and you will stay in business tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. I focus every day on just staying in business today and falling more in love with our industry and standing loud and proud, because people out there don't know what we have. People out there are hurting. People out there they need it. They're on their knees praying for what we have and all the different blessings that we have available. So I am pretty passionate about, have you fallen in love with Isogenics yet? Have you fallen in love with this industry yet? Have you fallen in love? And, you know, you have to work on that. You have to learn to love what you do. You have to learn to love what you do. And I've worked hard on that. So
Thank you, Jill. Oh my goodness, you're amazing.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Let's go, guys. Come on. Now, for everybody who stayed on, can you just give them that one-liner about how to break into an Asian market? What to say? Because if it follows on,
Yes.
I promised them that you would share that on this call, and they've waited all the way to the end. So let's bless these guys and let's go have an incredible day and start depositing love. And guys, I'm so excited for all of you to have been on this call. The best way to say thank you to Jill is to go and put what she's taught you into action, all right? And then come back with the stories about how this stuff actually implemented it. Blow up her inbox with the person you met, with the story about this, with the story about that. She'll love it. All right, Jill.
I love you, lady. You're amazing. And you guys, truly, if you want to go into Korea, you want to go into Australia, if I want to go into, I do the prayer of Jabez every day, bless my life today, expand my territory, hand watch over life, and keep me from evil, keep me from evil. Are you doing the book, Rachel? And then the other thing I do is I ask everyone, I'm trying to break into Korea. Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that can help me? Again, are you asking? Are you asking? Are you asking? You're trying to grow bigger and you're trying to break into other countries. Ask everybody. Oh, I know, you're not interested, but do you know anybody who can help me? I'm trying to get into the US. I don't know. What happened when you did that, Rachel, that day?
Yeah, so the first person I asked was from China. She was in my communal lounge room on rooftop, and she chased me to give me her phone number. Some of the girls on this call were there.
Ask you guys. It's powerful when you do. You know anybody that can help me? I'm trying to break into the US. Write that one down. Say it, though. Don't just write it down. And I love you. Thank you for having me on. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. You guys are awesome. Rachel, any day, anytime, whatever you need, girl, we're with you all the way.
We love you, Jill.
Last thing, if it bleeds you, cut it out. If it feeds you, feed it. Okay? And I love that one. I was talking about that the other day. Cut the weeds out of your life. And I got a lot of weed cutting I had to do those first couple of years. So if it bleeds you, don't feed it. But if it feeds you, feed it. I love that. Get rid of the negativity in the heart in your life will stop this from happening on a faster level. Yeah. Okay, you too. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day.
Bye. All right, let's go.